We're pretty active, bro. Like, I'm doing a podcast at my wedding. I'm sure people are gonna say some about that.
Oh, you're gonna get roasted.
Yeah, like we're just like, bro, I'm active. We work, bro.
That's right. Gervonta Tank Davis versus me, baby.
Yeah, he did have all of us thinking that you was rigging those fights, though. I ain't gonna lie, he right about that.
But how do you
How could he
honestly
rig a
believe
fight?
that? I've never fought a professional boxer this experienced, and he's never fought someone my size. He's 30 years old. I'm 28 years old. We're in our prime. If I win, I just beat one of boxing's greatest and pulled off the impossible. If he wins, he gives you all what you want to see, sends me back to YouTube.
YouTube's two biggest lolcows, Jake and Logan Paul, are back at it again, delivering Inception levels of cringe over the last couple of weeks. As you've probably already heard, Jake Paul's latest boxing grift has been announced, where he'll take on Gervonta Tank Davis on November 14 over on Netflix, and as usual, Jake's completely fumbling the promotion already. Bro seriously thinks taking on a professional boxer 70 pounds lighter than him is a flex. But Logan Paul did the most Logan Paul thing ever and recorded a podcast on the first day of his honeymoon in Italy, bringing in different guests over the course of 2 hours. Logan's one of the only internet dorks that can do a bunch of ad reads the day after his wedding with a straight face. And if that doesn't tickle your testicles, wait until I show you how badly his lawyer fumbled his CryptoZoo lawsuit by announcing they've won when the judge basically said the complete opposite. So stick around for that full breakdown towards the end of this video, because I want to get straight into Jake's latest exhibition fight against Tank Davis. Just when you thought he'd learned his lesson after his embarrassing fight against Mike Tyson, he managed to dupe Netflix into broadcasting yet another one of his fake fights.
But before we talk about that, I need you to answer one thing. What's the world's biggest critique of Jake Paul?
Everybody keeps calling for Jake Paul to fight a real boxer.
Real boxer.
Real boxer.
The time has come to get in the ring with boxers.
Exactly. Fight a real boxer. Well, how about the man himself, an undefeated world champion, knockout artist, Gervonta Tank Davis. For all of you Karens who accuse me of being on steroids as the reason for winning all of my fights, we have the strictest drug testing possible for this match. U.S. Anti-Doping Agency. Random drug tests at any moment.
If Logan Paul is the dark, scheming grifter who figured out how to monetize every single breath he takes, his little brother Jake Paul is a straight-up dumbass. I've spoken about this over the years on my other channels, how Jake Paul's speech has noticeably slowed down and become slurry and sloppy, but now it's so much more obvious just how bad it really is. I'll show you why he quit his podcast a couple of months ago in a moment, because if you needed any more evidence Jake's suffering from CTE, then here it is, staring you straight in the face. However, the big talking point about his upcoming fight against Tank Davis is the glaringly obvious weight disparity. Jake Paul weighed in at 200 pounds for his last bout, while Tank Davis usually fights in the 130s. There's also a massive height difference of 8 inches, as well as a difference in reach of 9 inches. Clearly, this is another bullshit fight. I mean, think back to when Mayweather carried Conor McGregor when they fought. Conor was the bigger guy, coming in 5 pounds heavier than Floyd, and even then people were saying that Conor had a chance because of the size and age difference. But 70 pounds heavier and almost a foot taller is crazy.
Well. What's new? Big surprise. Looks like everybody has Tank to win this fight. I know you got him picked! And since everyone clearly thinks size doesn't matter, I want y'all to keep that same energy when I fold Tank in half. This is the most dangerous fight of my career. This is no influencer, no MMA fighter, no retired boxer. He's been fighting since he was 5 years old, and I have 5 years of boxing experience. I've never fought a professional boxer this experienced, and he's never fought someone my size. He's 30 years old. I'm 28 years old. We're in our prime. If I win, I just beat one of boxing's greatest and pulled off the impossible. If he wins, he gives you all what you want to see, sends me back to YouTube. But if he loses, that whole little image of toughness and badassness goes all out the window. All from the little hands of a YouTuber, Jake Joseph Paul.
Wait. So, on the one hand, Jake's saying everyone thinks Tank Davis is the favorite because size doesn't matter, but then he tries to sell the fight as being evenly matched. Seriously, this guy has shit for brains. Nobody is ever going to take him seriously as a boxer until he fights a current professional heavyweight. What happened to the Anthony Joshua fight? Now, that's something I'd be down to watch. But if you thought watching Jake Paul fumbling his way through a scripted fight promo video was bad, wait until you watch him try to promote it unscripted.
When do you start training again, man?
I'm always training, dog. Alcohol is part of the training.
Is that biceps? Is that biceps?
Personality,
Bicep.
character, willing to die. Bro,
You mentioned that in your speech.
if I'm willing to die, then I'm going to be a great boxer. So what's up?
Yeah, but
Jake, you
Let's go to the edges of life. Oh, yeah. I'm going to max out life. Bet hottest fiance, most money, doing all this boxing, all this Yeah, let me turn down the partying. I'm life maxing.
You actually are, bro.
I'm trademarked it.
I have said this
I'm the
on this podcast.
I'm the most life maxer there is. So congrats to everybody here.
hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
When
Wait,
you guys
hey,
meet
he's
me,
not-
just
he's
know
not- he's not
I'm the
wrong.
most life maxer of all time. So you're welcome to be in my presence.
The fact that you have to ask a question.
Cringe maxing is a new phrase I'm dedicating to Jake Paul. The non-stop bragging from a guy who walks through life on easy mode is a whole new level of narcissism. Jake's the kind of guy who brags about hitting strikes when he goes bowling with the bumpers up. He's one step away from Kim Jong-un's record-breaking round of golf where he hit 11 holes in one. He's the Steven Seagal of YouTube. If Jake ever fought a real boxer, it'd be like watching those videos where a fighter practiced in the ancient art of Wing Chun gets knocked the fuck out by an MMA fighter. Man, those videos never get old. By the way, speaking of, is it too soon to play a clip from Rampage Jackson's podcast?
Dana White, Uncle Dana, we were watching right now on Netflix. He said he didn't know that there was a fight this weekend. What you think about that?
What, his fight? Nah, he's a liar, capper. I mean, he's made up so many things about me. I'm his biggest op, so that's the way it goes, right? He's the one that started the rigged fights rumor. He's the one that started the steroids rumor. So,
Yeah, he did have all of us thinking that you was rigging those fights, though. I ain't gonna lie, he right about that.
but how did you
How could he
honestly
rig a
believe
fight?
that? You honestly believe that?
I wanted to believe it when you fought Woodley.
Why, Rampage? You
'Cause
know
I'm an
that's
MMA
dumb.
guy. I'm
you
an
know
MMA
that's
guy.
dumb, though. Come on,
No.
it's a federal crime. It's illegal. Like, and you think Anderson Silva's gonna lose? You think
No.
Woodley's gonna take a fall? You guys, you know these guys.
Yeah, no, I didn't think Anderson would take a fall, but
No, but I'm genuinely interested in the people. I try to understand. Like,
No,
dumb-
everybody's saying
No,
Mike
I
Tyson
tried
pulled his punches.
I try to understand dumb people because I can't relate. Like, I really genuinely spend parts of my day like trying to like see people online and like think like, how could someone be so dumb? And I still don't get it.
no, I
So-
think people wanted to believe that. That's what the difference
But it's just
is.
like it's just hate, you know? It's just hate.
Jake Paul calling absolutely anybody dumb is peak irony. Imagine trying to make a boxing career out of fighting hacks and retired legends, and then when people call you out for it, you hit back by calling them dumb, and then if that doesn't land, just call them haters. This guy is a walking YouTuber starter pack. I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm hardworking, you're lazy. I'm life maxing, you're just a bunch of haters. And yet Jake can't decide whether to flex his wealth or to hide it.
And bro, people think I'm like a multi-billionaire. They think I'm a billionaire and like, oh, he paid somebody $40-50 million to take a fall like that, bro. I don't have that type of money laying around to throw at people.
Yeah, Bear says you're a billionaire for
Yeah,
sure.
but you legit
he tells
a billionaire.
No, he tells
I mean,
everybody.
you make at least $100 million a year.
Not that
Hey,
much. That's what I'm saying. People like
You are probably one of the top 5 highest.
Get the kid
paid-
get the kid a napkin. You giving them
boxers.
glizzies and stuff.
I mean, we heard that you made $100 million a fight from Netflix.
Hey, but the rumor is,
it's like in the 30s, almost 40s, but
hey, what Bear was saying that you paid Mike Tyson to show his ass on Netflix.
bro,
Bear did say that.
Man, I used to think Rampage was funny as fuck, but after all that shit overnight with his son nearly killing that wrestler, I think there's a few questions he kinda needs to answer. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Let me know if you guys want me to. But like I said earlier, Jake Paul decided to finally hang up the mic and quit podcasting. After 2 excruciating years of struggling to put full sentences together in a coherent way, he figured out it was time to give up and admit that he's just not that good at talking.
Are you canceling yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll explain why, actually, to the viewers, because I actually do enjoy this show doing it 3% of the time. But the thing is that I have too much going on. I hate doing the ad reads in between.
You don't like building other people's brands when you could just build your own.
The biggest thing is what I realized is my being partially on the spectrum or whatever I am. I'm not good at talking to people or asking them questions and stuff.
It felt like
even in real life, I'm not a conversator.
But you are a little sometimes delayed.
Yeah.
It takes you a second to process all the information, which isn't a bad thing. It's just I could see on a podcast you're a bit more intentional in the way you speak, and so you process everything really deeply.
Yeah.
And I think that's good for podcasts. So I think that's I'd push back a little bit there. It's important to know bandwidth. I'm proud of you for that. You got to know when to say no, even if it is.
He
something
still
you've been
doesn't.
doing.
Come on, guys, get your story straight. Jake said he quit because he's got too much going on and wants to focus on boxing, but let's be honest, the guy couldn't podcast his way out of a paper bag. After 2 years of mumbling through brand deals and staring blankly at guests while his buddies carried the conversation, even he finally realized that forcing a podcast on the world was doing more damage to his brain than getting punched in the face by a 42-year-old cab driver. You know, when a YouTuber refuses to do any more low-effort ad reads, they really don't want to be there. Jake's biggest win of the year was quitting that podcast. And speaking of wins, let's finally get into Logan Paul's lawyer fumbling a fake win in his CryptoZoo case. As you probably know, Logan's being sued in a class action lawsuit for scamming his audience with his crypto scheme that fell flat on its face and, of course, landed him a tidy little profit along the way. His lawyer posted this on LinkedIn thinking nobody would actually go and find the legal filing and called him out for lying. The hardest part of being a lawyer is witnessing firsthand how an investigation or lawsuit impacts a client. It can devastate them, leading them to question everything. As their lawyer, you're tasked with steadying the ship. It goes on to say, I've fought for and achieved guilty and not guilty verdicts. I've exposed billions of dollars in fraud for whistleblowers and recovered billions for the government as a prosecutor. But telling Logan Paul 30 minutes after his fairy tale wedding that a magistrate judge recommended a complete dismissal of a class action lawsuit we'd been fighting for over a year was an unforgettable moment. The order came down as he was walking down the aisle. It felt like it was meant to be. Now, here's the thing. The judge did actually recommend dismissing the lawsuit, but not because Logan Paul was cleared. It was because the plaintiff's legal team fucked up and didn't meet the standards for pleading fraud under Rule 9b, which means you can't just say they scammed us and expect a trial. You have to spell out exactly who did what, when, where, and how, but instead the plaintiff's legal team lumped all the defendants together, including Logan, without providing the specifics, and so the judge called the allegations vague and speculative. However, this is the key. The judge didn't actually shut the door completely. The ruling simply recommends giving the plaintiffs a chance to amend their complaint because, in the judge's opinion, they actually do have a valid case. They just didn't file it properly. And since this is their first attempt, the court is giving them a chance to fix it, given how strong their case is. If they come back with more precise allegations and actually separate Logan Paul's actions from the rest of the defendants, then the case will still move forward. But of course, Logan's team are playing this off as a win and leaving out all the other relevant details, such as the judge explicitly stating the plaintiffs potentially have a strong case. Everything the Paul brothers do is fake and manufactured. They're always winning, and whenever they get caught out, it's someone else's fault. Whenever you're in doubt, just blame the team. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this cringe fest of a video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and make sure you smash the like button too if you enjoyed today's serving of cringe slop. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.